Hey guys, we're back. It's Shane with One Shift at a Time, and let's talk about all the crazy trades that have happened over the last couple days. The free agent frenzy, it has been going crazy. We're going to go through some of them, not all of them, but we'll go through a good amount of them. Give you kind of my feels on them, who I thought won, lost the trade, kind of stuff like that. As I said, I just can't go through them all because there's so many. So the first one we're going to go through is we're going to start in alphabetical or chronological order as best I can. They're not all going to be perfect, but it did seem to start off with Edmonton giving up a 2022 conditional pick and Caleb Jones for a veteran D-man from Chicago in Duncan Keith. So the question for that one is going to be, is his age, 38, going to affect him? And he's been on the decline the last couple of years. He's definitely, he's always been a 60-point player most of his career, but the last two seasons he only recorded 15 points, or last season he only reported 15 points in 54 games, which is quite a drop-off. I don't know whether to pin that on him or Chicago as a whole, because Chicago has definitely not been playing for very well. Then the Leafs, they sent Philippe Hollander to Pittsburgh for Jared McCain, and that was a very good move for them because Jared McCain was in town for 24 hours, if that, and then of course he was picked up by the Seattle Kraken, so they were able to save their other players with them. The Rangers, they grabbed Barclay Goodrow as Tampa starts to dismantle the super team that they had. I like the Flyers. They picked up Ryan Ellis. I really like him as a player. They really need to bounce back, and I think that they could really help him. He can really help the city of brotherly love bounce back after that horrible season they just had. The next one is probably the biggest larceny of the whole thing so far. The New York Rangers, they fleeced Carolina. They took Alex Nedeljkovic, who was a potential franchise goalie. He was second in voting this year in the Calder race. I think his upside is huge. And franchise goalies, or good goalies in this league, are so hard to come by. It just seems so weird that Carolina just walked away with it there. So the Flyers, they made another good move there. They traded for Rasmus Ristolainen. That definitely that really helps improve them. Then we have another move that left me scratching my head, and the Canucks. The Canucks fans must be doing the same thing. The Canucks grabbed Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I mean, he was good a couple of years ago, but he signed that massive big contract, and he has not been the same since. I think Canuck fans already know what that feeling is. They already paid Louis Eriksson $6 million a year for almost next to nothing. I don't know that they needed another massive big contract on the books for someone who doesn't really perform. So the hope is really that he bounces back and starts to perform in Vancouver, and let's hope he does for them. And then that's going to bring us to probably the stupidest trade I've ever seen in my life. The Vegas Golden Knights. And everyone knows where I'm going with this already. They traded the reigning Vezina Trophy winner, the guy who dragged them past Colorado, dragged them to the conference finals, and made one mistake. Yes, he made one mistake that cost them that game, but I don't know that that was worth trading him for absolutely nothing. Well, they traded him straight across for Michael Hakarinen, who I, like most of you, have never even heard of. So how does somebody who's barely an NHL starting player get traded for one of the best goalies of our generation? It just does not make sense. It's not sounding good for Vegas too, the way they told him he'd finish his career there, and then without even telling him, he had to find out on Twitter that he was traded. Just a nasty situation. Excuse me. The Jets, they snagged Nate Schmidt from Vancouver, which is a help. I think that he really helps. The Jets needed some size, and he's going to help with that. He's a good, solid D-man. The Oilers traded one of my favorite players, Ethan Bear, to Carolina. It's too bad they couldn't have snagged Nedeljkovic there. But he did go off there, and we'll see. The Flames also, they got a good backup goalie, and I have to say one of the best nicknames in hockey with Dan Darth Blader. The Kraken, they also shored up their goaltending situation by grabbing Grubauer, which is another steal. So they grabbed a bona fide #1 goaltender. So they have really good defense and really good goaltending now in Seattle. So they just need to add a couple of pieces for the offense, and they could actually be a scary team. I think a lot of people might sleep on them. The Bruins, of course, they re-signed Tyler Hall, which is not involved in this, but they also signed Nick Foligno from their rival Leafs. So that was a huge coup, and I think Nick Foligno is a good player. He's going to really help the Bruins out there. Dougie Hamilton, he's moved on the move again. He's out of Carolina. He's now signed a 7-year deal with New Jersey Devils. Zach Hyman, he moved his talents from Toronto all over to Edmonton as well, and it sounded when I heard his radio interview that he is quite pumped for it. Let's see how that goes. I feel the Oilers made what I think is the Oilers' best offseason move so far. I think they've made some subtle moves, and I think they've improved as a team. We'll see how that goes. The Flames also added another big piece from Tampa Bay. They signed Blake Coleman. So that's, I think, a huge piece, another forward to work with the guys there. I would be surprised if there's not some more big trades coming out of Calgary. We'll see. That is all I have for you guys so far. This is part 1. While I was doing this, I've already seen there's another couple big trades going on, so we're probably going to have to do a part 2 of this video. So if you did enjoy it, please give it a like, a subscribe, and you guys have yourselves a great one. We'll see you in the next episode.